How can we avoid some common pitfalls for the Learning Bonus Celebration? A professional development video from Springboard Collaborative. The Learning Bonus Celebration can be the highlight of your Springboard program, but there are a few things that can really burst the bubble of this party. We asked members of the Springboard community to share with us some of the common pitfalls to avoid and the lessons they've learned as they've hosted a Learning Bonus Celebration. The number one pitfall to avoid? Running out of time.
They, at our all-site meetings, they started talking, they're like, don't forget about thinking about the LBC, early on, and I was like, I can't think about that right now. But I'm glad that I did, because it would have been really difficult to do everything like yesterday.
The second pitfall is not working together. If one person tries to do it all, the Learning Bonus Celebration won't be much fun for anyone.
You'll want to make sure that all the teachers know what's going on, and all the people in the building know about the celebration, and you might even want to get some extra food to give to some of the people who work in the building that your program is at.
So just making sure each person had a specific job and not just okay, we're all just gonna see how this goes. So it was very specific of who was going to do what.
One of the biggest party downers is if parents miss the last family workshop. A family can be so close to getting an incentive and then miss it in the last week. Remember, attendance is mandatory at family workshops. So how can you avoid this pitfall?
They were getting the message, and so we sent a lot of flyers. We sent a save the date, we sent a flyer, then we sent another reminder flyer that was about the last workshop. We sent it one on Thursday and one on Monday because there weren't going to be any makeups. So kind of just giving people as much notice as possible that there weren't going to be makeups. And then we also reached out to families ahead of time that had made up a couple of them because of work to give them the heads up, we can't do makeups this time. This is your students on track for this incentive, you need to come. So kind of being proactive about reaching out to parents that work.
In week 4, actually, during our parent workshops, my ops lead and I went around with a sample of what the incentives were. And we went around to each workshop and said, here are the incentives, just a reminder is what they are. You cannot get them if you don't attend workshop. This is workshop 4. If you have any makeups, they must be done. Here are the days. Workshop 5 was this morning, and we had a couple of students come in without a parent. The first thing we did as soon as we saw a child walk in without a parent was we went and called them. And they actually were able to come in. They went ahead and came. They were late, but they came. And so really being on top of that, especially in week 5 as you're hitting in that home stretch.
Some other potential problems can arise around incentives. Isn't it exciting that kids can earn books and backpacks and tablets and certificates and awards, but someone has to manage all those prizes, and that someone is you and your team. So how do you work as a team to manage the incentives and make sure they are not missing or incorrect?
Books. I brought them to the school, and then we had to actually divide up everything into 6 different classrooms. So this year we had between 70, 80 kids. And so you have one class here, one class here, one class there. This class gets this many amount of books, this class gets that many amount of books, and you start to prepare for the Learning Bonus Celebration. Obviously there can be hiccups. Sometimes we don't have enough books. And so then we got to go back to the warehouse and grab more books.
At the Learning Bonus Celebration, every scholar is celebrated, but not every scholar earns the incentive they were hoping for. So what can you do to avoid families feeling disappointed?
This is a big commitment for parents to send their kids to, and so not when they're they didn't get it, just well, sorry, you had to come to the workshops. Kind of just being I know it's a really hard commitment, and just reiterating how hard it is to make the goal, just making sure that they know that I know what a big commitment it is, and that I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure their student reaches an incentive and get something for the hard work that they put in. I think it's really easy because it gets frustrating. It's hard program to run and to work with all the kids to just be well, sorry, those are the rules. Just to really work with parents to make sure. And then after the Learning Bonus Celebration, just having a way that's organized for people to pick up their supplies. So making sure one class at a time, they came to pick up their stuff. So that went really smoothly, because it's definitely a hard process when some kids are getting a tablet and a backpack and some kids aren't getting anything. We didn't have any complaints or tears or anything, so it was good. It worked out well.
Is to make sure that families are aware, not only near to the LBC, but throughout the program, that the awards are not necessarily going to be given to their children. They need to work hard for them, but even if they just earn a backpack or books, that's still a huge achievement because it means that they did the program and they worked really hard. So that's a good thing to help families remember.
And we made sure that the students that didn't get things won an award for, like, you know, trying their best and coming every day and things like that. And so they were really excited about that.
Thanks to this advice from your Springboard colleagues, you can avoid the common pitfalls and start early. Work as a team. Be proactive with families. Get a system for incentives. Be empathetic and problem solving. Distribute incentives in an orderly fashion and emphasize hard work and growth. Remember, the Learning Bonus Celebration can be the highlight of the program for staff, scholars, and their families. Now it's your turn. How will you and your team avoid these common pitfalls? What are some other lessons you've learned from hosting a Learning Bonus Celebration or something like it?